What's up, everybody? Today is Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, and I am making a video. Yesterday I made a video about politics. You know, there's actually something else that I've been wanting to make a video on. It just dawned on me. I wanted to make a video on homelessness in the future. So sometimes for those of you watching my video who don't know, my family and I are homeless, and we go out in the street and beg for money, right? And so, you know, standing on a corner somewhere holding a sign. And sometimes or a lot of times when I'm out there holding a sign, just think of just random things. And one thing I was thinking about recently was what is homeless gonna be like in the future, like kind of far future, like say 2050, right? And so I just started thinking about different things about that, right? So 2050 is 27 years in the future, right? And anytime I think about the future, what it may be like, the first thing I do is I think about the past, okay? So I'm old enough to where I was alive 27 years ago from today. So we're in 2023 minus 27. What was that, around 1995, somewhere around there? So I was alive in 1995. I was a teenager, right? And although I wasn't homeless, I know what the state of technology and all that was in 1995, and so I could think about what it was like to be homeless back then. So in 1995, the internet existed and all that, but it wasn't like now, social media, all that kind of stuff. People weren't making money online, right? And so that includes homeless people. So for example, like right now, how on my channel page, I got a PayPal link, I got a GoFundMe link, and that's a modern day thing where even if you're homeless, you can get money online, or even if you're not homeless, you can make money online, OnlyFans or YouTube or whatever, right? Well, that was not the case in 1995. So a homeless person in 1995 could only get donations in person, right? Only on the street. That's it. So from then to now, that is one of the big differences, and I've thought about that before, where the difference between me homeless now and homeless back then is like I said, I could stand on a street corner with my homeless sign just like someone might have done in 1995, but also I could come on here on the internet and tell my story to people, and hey, I'm homeless, and ask for money and get it on the internet. What wasn't an option back then. Okay, so just for example, that's something that was different, right? So anyhow, you extend that 27 years into the future, into 2050, and then you start to think, well, what other different ways could potentially a homeless person make money? I'm presuming the internet is still going to be around, and so the first thing that I would think is like for example, GoFundMe, or probably even PayPal. I don't know, PayPal's been around for a while, but like GoFundMe, I don't think GoFundMe's been around for that long. I don't know how many, 5-10 years, I don't know, right? But that's like a new way for people to even make money online, right? So I would presume in the future, 2050, that there's going to be other new ways to make money, other sites like PayPal, GoFundMe, and other things like OnlyFans, where you could, share your body, or, the websites where you could share your feet and make money and all this kind of stuff. So I'm guessing in 2050, there's just going to be more of those type of websites. And so my first point is, if I had to guess for homelessness in 2050, that there's going to be more websites where you could ask for donations and get funding or whatever, right? And especially another big difference is, even nowadays in 2023, a lot less people are using cash nowadays as opposed to say in 1995, right? Way more people don't carry cash, especially the kids nowadays. You pay for stuff with your phone or with your debit card or whatever. And so people have less cash on hands, and so sometimes literally I think people don't donate to us on the street because they just literally don't have cash. Of course some people would lie, say, oh, I don't have any cash on me. whatever, right? Okay, but truthfully, yeah, a lot of people don't have cash nowadays. And again, you extend that to 2050, I think way less people are going to have cash. And so that whole standing on the corner with your homeless sign in 2050, that might not even be a thing anymore, because people just literally might not have cash or coins, or just way less. Say only like, even if only like say 10 or 20 out of 100 people actually literally have cash on them, maybe that's not enough, because out of that 10, 20 people, how many of those people are going to actually donate to you? And so begging for money in 2050 may be totally online. Maybe that whole standing on the street corner, with a homeless sign, that might be a thing of the past, just because people aren't having cash anymore. Okay? And then of course, there may be more, there's always more programs, stuff like that, there's different welfare programs, right now in 2023, there's talk about, what do they call that? Universal basic income. That could become a thing by 2050. And so my point is, is homelessness going to be eradicated by then? Say we do start a universal basic income where everybody's getting, at least a few grand or a couple grand a month. You don't have to beg anymore, because you're getting, your monthly stipend from the government, or from, whatever it is. And so, I was thinking about that stuff. And then I started to extend it even further. Okay, so we're only talking about 27 years in the future, or 27 years in the past, right? And then I extended it further. I'm like, okay, well, let's really go back. Let me compare myself as a homeless person to, say, someone who's homeless in, say, like 70 years, something crazy like that, right? So 70 years from now, say 2100. How far is 2100 from now? What is that? 77 years, right? So go back 77 years from now. What was that? 750 to 1950? Yeah, 1950 is 70 years. So say around 1950, right? Let's think about homelessness in 1950, right? Now you're talking about completely different. Now you're talking about a time where everybody has cash. I don't even think checks were a thing back then. Debit cards weren't a thing. Everybody had cash on their person in 1950. Cash, coins, maybe gold, who knows? Everybody had cash. And so if you're a homelessness person in 1950, holding a sign, I don't know how it was in 1950, how many people were donating or whatever, but at least that every car that passes by you while you're standing on the corner, they all have money. Whether they give to you or not is a different story. Whereas now, people passing by me, I always have to think, well, maybe they actually just don't have cash on them, but in 1950 they did, right? And so, so everybody had cash back then, right? Let's think about other stuff, because I was thinking about this, right? Go back to 1950, a homeless person in 1950, right? And, how do they get around? Okay, 1950, someone might hitchhike, right? Or, they had city buses back then, right? And I was thinking about this. So imagine a homeless person on a city bus in 1950, right? A city bus in 1950. I don't think it had air conditioner. I don't think air conditioning was a thing on buses back then. Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it had a heater, I don't know. But definitely, buses back then, didn't have internet. People didn't drink bottled water back then, like the plastic bottles of water. People drink out of fountains, or from, your tap at home, or from a hose or something like that, right? So imagine a homeless person on the bus in 1950. You got the windows down on a hot day because there's no air conditioning on the bus, and they're just sitting there talking to someone else or reading a book. There's no AC, there's no internet or whatever, right? They don't have a plastic bottle of water to drink, and all this, right? Now jump forward to now, 2023, me, homeless on a bus, right? Oh, and you got to pay a fare and all that, right? I don't know what kind of welfare programs were back then, right? But nowadays you get free bus fare if you're homeless. Like I have a card if anybody wants to see it. So I have this is a June. This is a June pass. So for all the month of June, I get free bus fare. So imagine me on the bus now in 2023. I'm sitting on the bus for free with my, my bottled water, right? Air conditioning on the bus, internet, all this kind of stuff. I'm living kind of luxury. Even as a homeless person, I got my cell phone. You can get, even as a homeless person, from the government, you could get a free cell phone, or maybe, you found a used one. Actually, someone just gave us a cell phone the other day, and you could, even if you don't have service, you could connect to Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi on the bus. So yeah, me as a homeless person, I don't have a home, I don't have a job, sometimes we don't have like any money or whatever, right? And I'm still, when I'm on the bus, I'm comparing me on the bus 2023 to a homeless person in 1950, and how luxurious I am. I was thinking about it. I was like, with my bottled water and my cell phone, going on the internet, and the air conditioning blowing, and it's free because I got the free bus pass and all this kind of stuff, right? Big, gigantic difference between a homeless person now and 1950, right? So again, now let's extend that into the future. I don't know if people are going to be taking the buses in, say, 2100, 70 years into the future, 70 something years into the future in 2100. But just imagine the difference. Like I said, homelessness, think about that. How, like, even though I'm homeless, how luxurious things that I have now as a homeless person in just 2023. Now you extend that another 70 something years to 2100. Homeless people, it might not even be a thing. Or, you start to think about, what could they have? Is the government giving out free cars for homeless? Free electric car for everybody. Like I said, the universal basic income. A homeless person, okay, you might not have a home, but at least you get your government stipend of a few grand a month or whatever it is by then. Or like I said, homelessness can be completely eradicated. You might have your own personal robot. Even as a homeless person, what if they have their own personal robot in 2100? Or, who knows? And so that thought, that thought kind of like intrigued me, that obviously how times change, and that just how, I don't know, it's just weird, because when you think about, like, say, a homeless person, especially if you haven't been homeless, all you know is from what you've seen on TV and movies and stuff like that, and a lot of that stuff is outdated, and that's why even, like, I get comments online sometimes when people realize, like, if I make a video, like, especially if I make a YouTube short and I say I'm homeless, there's always somebody be like, oh, you're homeless, but you have a cell phone. It's like their brain is still in that 1950s mentality, because that's what they see on old TV shows and movies or whatever, where homeless people don't have a cell phone or bottled water, or like all these other things, but this is 2023. I'm a modern day homeless person. This is homelessness in modern day. In modern day, homeless people more than likely have a cell phone. Whether some homeless people have a cell phone with service. My phone doesn't have service, but cell phone with service. Like I said, you get a free bus pass, and you get access to internet and free bottles of water. People give me bottles of water, but I get free water from, like, fountains at fast food places and stuff like that, and so my brain cannot imagine or wrap around what it would be like for a homeless person in 70 something years from now, 2100. I just can't even imagine. It's changed so much. Like I said, imagine me compared to a homeless person in 1950, completely different. Even in a hotel, let's say a homeless person in 1950, they're able to get a hotel. How about they beg for money, they are able to get a hotel, right? And then me, in 2023, I'm able to beg for money and I get a hotel, right? But even that experience is completely different. Imagine a hotel in 1950. Oh, the bus is coming. Just real quick. Yeah, they didn't have TVs in hotels in 1950, let alone flat screen TVs and microwaves and fridges. It was just a room with a bed and, very simplistic, And so now, again, you extend that to 2100. A homeless person in 2100, it's going to be living large, man. Maybe. I don't know, unless, the world crumbles or whatever. Anyhow, just food for thought. The bus is coming right now. Thank you for watching. See you guys next video.